Hey everyone, welcome to mine and Bill's Great Adventure. I think
I'm
that's actually the name.
back.
Yeah. My name is Christie Ellis. I'm with Keller Williams Integrity First, and this is my good friend Bill Paden with Direct Mortgage Loans. So yeah, Bill, we were without you last week because of the Arizona Spring Conference, which my portion didn't start till the afternoon, so I was kind of a little bit later, which we
Mine
did.
was mine was early morning.
Yeah, that's right. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that and what we learned this week, but also I did have to. Arizona has put in three new classes for us as realtors that we have to take: a deed fraud class, a water class, and a fire class. Now, these are super interesting because most people will think the fire has to deal with the northern parts of Arizona, the Flagstaff, Payson, Prescott's. But I live right next to South Mountain, and we had that little spark of fire, two of them actually, and because of that, our insurance rates changed too. So these three classes and the deed fraud thing, the deed fraud is just overwhelming. And so we are looking at fortunately our industry is making sure us as realtors understand how all this applies to our clients. So not just necessarily here in Phoenix, but all over the state. So
It's important.
did
There's
you
a lot of changes happening, and the fire is a big thing, and deed fraud's just a
yeah.
crazy issue. So,
I'm assuming on the lending side that doesn't have an effect. On our side, it's more about disclosure, like make helping people understand if you're buying a property, what the challenges are, especially if you're on a well or if you have to haul water, because there are some places that you have to do that. Um, fire
only
wise and
thing,
what that is.
yeah, fire-wise, that impacts the hazard insurance, which impacts the mortgage payment if they're including the
Oh, that's
escrows,
a good point. The
right?
insurance cost.
So that's why we're big about when you're first on the contract, get all the quotes that first week, right? See where insurance is going to land because there's a lot of changes in that field as well. And if you pop up in one of those areas, you want to get those quotes taken care of. And the deed is really, we just got to make sure it's clean. We need to make
Yeah.
sure that the buyer's the seller's the seller, and it's a clean title once it transfers over to our buyer. So those are the two things. So we hear the stories. We usually title handles that part. So that's nice.
Yeah, that is true. But here's some interesting things from our perspective as well. I know I've gotten calls from people who say they're, or it was emails from someone saying they want to sell property up in Sholo. And I looked it up and actually did some. I've always had this secret desire to be a cop. So it's not so much a secret desire. I actually went to
Get
school for it for a
Trace.
little while, and I just changed my mind. But that's still one of the things I enjoy. Like I enjoy figuring things out and making things right. And so I
Mhm.
did come to find the owners of these properties who really were not selling. But as I was speaking to the person on one situation, the property got listed by a different agent. So, some people aren't doing their due diligence, and it's really important that if something looks weird, check it out.
Ask questions.
And AI, right? Like apparently the things now which are really weird. We're basically asking people on a Zoom call to do the hokey pokey because AI can't move. They just can sit here like this. They can't do the hokey pokey. So if you ask them to do something, they can't do it. So another clue. But that's why you call us when you need something because we're the ones who are going to protect you, right? I feel like we should also get our
Exactly.
superhero capes at this point because we're fighting justice. We're just
We
finding
wear
justice.
many different hats.
Seriously. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit. One of my favorite slides that Tina Tambor, who is one of the statisticians for the Cromford Report, she's amazing. And the Cromford Report is something that we as realtors, and can you guys buy into this as well as lenders? Can you get subscription?
We sponsor the classes and we see it. We have different updates that we
Okay,
get.
so for us as realtors, we are allowed to purchase a subscription to the Cromford Report, and one of those things that we get is these constant market updates and it just pertains to our MLS, so the AR MLS, not other parts of which includes Maricopa and Pinal counties. So this is just what this is about. But these are our markets. We do White Mountains as well, but for this particular discussion. So one of the things we've been talking about this buyer seller market, right? Because it's the education for both clients to help them understand where we are, right? We have to educate the seller when it's the buyer's market because the pricing we may want to start with isn't where it should be. We have to educate the buyer that we actually, because some are still skittish about, well, we'll just give them what they want. Well, no, we don't necessarily have to because we have the ability to negotiate at this point. So, one of my favorite slides was her top markets for sellers is El Mirage. Now understand 100 is a balanced market. It's good. It's a perfect market. El Mirage is at a 178. which is way on the west side, or no, north side, northwest. Apache Junction is number 2, which Apache Junction is beautiful. I love the Superstition Mountains. So
Oh
it's,
yeah.
it's quite pretty. And then Anthem, which is North Phoenix. So that's interesting. Then we have some balanced markets, Tolleson and Levine, West Side markets. We do see a lot of activity there, a lot well-priced houses, a lot more affordability there. But here's the interesting, the buyers markets. And when I look at these cities, these are basically all 55 plus communities. They have a lot of them. If not, they're dedicated to it, right? Casa Grande has it, which is the best buyers market right now. But Sun City West, definitely 55 plus. Then we go to Arizona City, Gold Canyon, Litchfield, and then Sun Lakes. Now, all those cities have a lot of 55 plus communities in them.
Yeah. And you're seeing that because because of the shifting that's going on in the stock market and the markets out there. Because when you're retired and big shifts start happening, you kind of circle the wagons and you don't make big
Mm-hmm.
moves until things settle back down. So that's where I think you're seeing that the buyer, the demand isn't as high in those communities because they're kind of seeing, okay, how's the stock market? How's my retirement going to be impacted by these changes right now?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you see that a lot in that 55 plus. That's something that Tina brought up, is that when the stock market gets wonky in a bad way, 55 plus
Mm-hmm.
communities really struggle with selling or moving property at that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so I like, because Tina also said, like, this time of year is where 55 plus will buy the most, and also
Yeah,
luxury buyers. Now, the one thing that 55 plus isn't affected by is the luxury is the cryptocurrency market.
yeah, because they're mostly in the normal stock market, not the crypto.
Right. So, and she also says rich people don't like getting sweaty when they shop for homes. So I think she's hilarious. I love that woman. She's awesome. So, then the other interesting thing, like today I went, we have a client we're working with, and there is a roof. We're talking about a roof in it, right? And like the cost to replace a roof. Now I got a roof quote today, and it was interesting because basically the disclaimer from the roofer was, "Hey, just so you know, I'm not sure where prices are going to go on materials. So if we want this done, we need to do it soon." So
Mhm.
I'm thinking if you're somebody who's in the market for getting any home improvements or anything done, you're probably going to want to jump on that now.
Yes. Well, I mean, even the builders are holding off and seeing what's going to happen with the tariffs and what the cost of goods sold basically are going to increase to. So yeah, right now, honestly, if you want to, especially if you're looking for a little fixer upper, sooner than later is the best opportunity. And then, affordability is improving slowly when it comes to the rates.
Mhm.
It's up and down, has its good days, has its bad days. But
What
it's
about
trending
today?
in the
What's
right
like
direction.
where are like the raw prices today? Have they improved today compared or
Today, I mean, improved a little bit today. We had a bumpy last week, is
yeah.
what I like to say. Like we were heading in the right direction. It's like I always tell everybody, we're gonna have our good days, we're gonna have our rough weeks, and then it kind of all shakes up, and so yeah, I think it's kind of plateaued a little bit. I think
Okay.
once again, all markets are looking at what the administration is doing with the tariffs, what they're not going to do. It goes even down to the Ukraine Russian war. Um, and the markets, aren't acting normal in the fact that our debts aren't being bought then that really impacts the mortgage-backed securities, right? So normally with turmoil, if you see the stock market, struggling, going down like it's been doing, usually bond markets improve. People run for safety to the bond.
Mm,
It's not necessarily happening right now, but all eyes are on the Fed the next couple of weeks, see what they're going to do in response to it.
okay. Well, the other thing we learned at the Arizona, the spring conference was, our job market's looking really good. And
Oh,
interesting, we have had a giant increase in the number of students going to engineering school and the amount of engineers Arizona's producing.
oh,
It went up
that's awesome.
exponentially. I know. And we also had a really
Oh,
cool group that opened up with a drum thing. I'll have to share videos of that and
oh,
stuff.
I did. I saw the videos. That looked
They
like
were
fun. I
great.
missed that. That was sad.
Yes, I did get their contact information because I have some ideas on what to do with them. I think they'd be fun to do, to hang out, to, hire for something. But well, thanks. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up for this week? Anything important?
No, I just the big thing that I'm like the conversations I'm having with clients now, and that I'll tell everybody is right now is kind of that calm before the storm, I feel like. So if you're able to afford purchasing a home or you're bursting at the seams and you need to make a move, now's the time. I wouldn't wait any longer because you're going to go against a lot of competition. I mean, you even saw in that Tina report, you didn't go over it, but the East Valley has really started shifting demand wise, movement wise, a lot of activity. So it's I feel like now's the time. So that's my only
Yeah,
recommendation.
spring
If you can
breaks are
afford it,
over.
you know.
You know how it is. Spring break ends. This is where everybody starts shopping.
Yep,
So,
exactly. Like I'm
they'll
yeah,
wait till after spring
shopping.
break. That's their thing. And then all of a sudden, everyone starts coming out of the woodwork again for let's just because the next thing is the end of the school year, which is where they're thinking that is our busy cycle. So we're
Mhm.
heading into it. So
Yep.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
We have lots
Yep.
of people ready to help. So awesome. Well, thanks for your infinite wisdom again. Appreciate you.
So you're the best. You are the best, Christy.
Thanks. Well, if anybody needs anything from Bill or myself, always feel free to reach out to either one of us, and we look forward to talking to you.
Happy to help.